Hi, this is Clare and welcome to another Hero Arts video. In this video, we're going to be making two cards in one fell swoop using the beautiful star confetti die. So to start off with, you can see the die. It's pretty intricate, and I usually make two passes through my Cuttlebug whenever I have large background dies like this, just to make sure everything cuts really well. And it takes a while to poke out all those little stars, but you can use those later for confetti or for accents or for shaker cards. So you can use them for other projects. We're not going to be using them for this project, we're just going to be using the panel. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to each corner of the panel, and then I'm kind of rubbing with my fingers because I don't want the panel to permanently adhere to this piece of vellum that we're sticking it onto right now. It's just going to act as a mask, which we're going to use that mask to make a second card. So the vellum that we're using, it's a little bit longer than the panel because we're going to use the top and bottom to adhere the vellum to the card later, just to kind of flip it over to the back of the card so you can't see the adhesive. I'm just going to cover up the top and the bottom of that vellum though with some washi tape that I kind of rubbed on my arm so it won't be as sticky. If you're not worried about it being inky, then I guess you could skip the washi, but I wanted it to look a little cleaner, which is kind of unusual. I usually try to go whichever way is quickest. But anyway, so we're going to blend a background using Ultra Pink and Fresh Peach first. I like to start with my lighter colors, and I usually like to add a lot of the lighter colors because with the dark colors, it's really easy just to keep layering on dark colors, but once you've got some dark colors down, it's hard to go in and add light colors and have them show up. So that's why I usually kind of overcompensate with my light colors. So the second or third color that I used there was grape juice. I don't know if it's just my ink pad, but it's one of my favorite ink pads, period, to blend with because I love the color and it blends really well. And so for the fourth color, I used some navy. So it might look kind of messy at first, but we'll try to add some details that'll make it look cool. I'm using some unicorn ink to just add a little bit of stars, I guess. And then I'm going to heat set this because we're going to be doing or a lot of heat embossing. So I'm going to heat set the ink, and the white ink doesn't always dry super quickly with a heat gun, so that's why I have a paper towel. I'm just wiping that over the top of the card, or pressing on top of the card to make sure that I'm getting any extra ink off. So I'm also taking the washi tape off because the washi tape, the top of it is slick, so the ink doesn't really dry on it, and since I'm going to be rubbing my Versamark ink pad on the top of this, I don't want it getting super filthy, so that's why I just use some new washi tape. So now we're going to take our Versamark pad and we're going to just completely cover this entire panel with it. I actually have two Versamark pads. One of them is pretty grungy, pretty roady, but it's still really sticky, so I keep it around for projects like this. The other ones, it looks nicer. When we added our Versamark, we got the stickiness on both the panel and the vellum beneath, so I'm just going to add some clear sparkle powder because these are stars, they need sparkles, and I'm also obsessed with clear sparkle powder. And also, I guess I should mention now, I'm sorry that my camera will kind of zoom in and out funny. I recently got a new camera body, and this is my first time filming with it. I didn't realize till later that, yeah, I was doing some weird focusing things, so I'm going to have to figure that out later. So once we had our two backgrounds heat set, then they're pretty much good to go. For our sentiments, I'm using Thanks Stampin' Cut and Happy Stampin' Cut just to do some white embossing on some blue navy-ish cardstock. So for our vellum card, what I'm going to do is first score the top. I used a pencil to kind of mark my place. And when I score the top, I like to make it a pretty firm score, I guess. I can't think of another way to describe it. It's just a firm score. And I'm going to use that to just add my adhesive and then adhere this panel or this flap first to the card, and then I'm going to I lightly scored the bottom, and then I'm going to add my adhesive there and then flip that over. And I just like to do it this way, to have score my top pretty firmly and then wrap the bottom around, because I feel like I can get a tighter fit to the card than if I measure and score everything out. For some reason it always ends up too big or too small. I'm not sure, maybe I'm terrible at measuring, but this way it's just easiest for me. So like I mentioned, the vellum got a little bit warped. This will kind of depend on what vellum you get. Thicker vellum might not warp as much. Mine is just El Cheapo vellum. I got from Joann's Fabrics. It was like a pack of 50 for $5 or something. So not super high quality. So I added a little bit of vellum adhesive to the side to make sure the vellum wasn't like super warpy, like it wouldn't pop up in odd spots. So that is the vellum card. We just adhere the sentiment using some dimensional adhesive. And for the second card, I took my cardstock panel and actually trimmed it down on the sides. And if you want, you can spray adhesive on the back of this, but that would take too much time for me. I'd have to actually pull out a box and find my spray adhesive. So I just used my my tape glider, and I just put adhesive in various spots, and if it kind of went over the stars, I'd use my fingers to kind of rub it out of the way. It's one of the reasons why I like this adhesive. When you really push it down, it sticks pretty well, but it's also pretty easy to manipulate. So once I got my adhesive on the back, I adhered that down and I trimmed off the sides a little bit more, and then I added my sentiment with some gems, and that pretty much finishes off the cards. So here are the cards again, and I think this shows how the clear embossing powder, I think it kind of helps mesh all the colors a little bit better, makes them really pop, that's for sure. So it doesn't just add sparkle, even though I really do like that part. So that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them on the video or on the blog, and supplies will be linked on the blog. Thanks for watching and have a great day. God bless. Bye.